warm welcome to another session of Sprint X 2021 for ICSE 10th. How are you guys doing? I hope all my dear bachas are doing absolutely fine and amazing. I am Ankana, your master teacher for social sciences at Vedantu, hoping all of you guys are doing bilkul badhiya. Okay, so let's get started with the very first session of our new chapter, the contemporary world. Now, what are the topics that we will be covering under this chapter, bacha? Under the contemporary world, we'll be covering the First World War, the Second World War, and of course, the United Nations, formations, and all the organs, right? Now, before that, let me quickly share the schedule with you so that you can have a quick look for physics, chemistry, maths, biology, social science, and English. So, bacha badi, this is your schedule. If you just in case have missed upon any of the sessions, or is this if there is a particular session that you're eagerly waiting for, you know the schedule, you know where and when to look for it, so you're sorted. But one thing that you need to do is hit the like button right now and keep sharing the video with your friends. Okay, make sure that anyone who needs help in this chapter or through Sprint should get that. So share the video as much as you can. Do not forget to hit the like button and stay subscribed, because as you know, till this end of the month, we are going to go ahead with our sprint and we're gonna rock it. So let's get started by the discussion of the last session's homework question. The question was, forward block was formed on which date? Bacha, the correct answer is May 3rd, 1939. Now, again, my note of gratitude for Chirag Sharma, Sanjay Kumar, Dhanush Singh, and Gurmeet Kaur. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for all of this acknowledgement. It just makes me feel amazing and super excited. So just that, and thanks guys. So let's get started, and we'll start with this amazing quotation. All things good to know are difficult to learn. It's a Greek proverb. It's a beautiful place. You can see in the picture itself. Anyways, talking about the proverb. But only easy things, not easy, actually not so constructive things, and bad habits, bad things comes easy to us. Things which are difficult, it's difficult because it ultimately has good for us, and it requires discipline, it requires consistency. So anything, bad habits is very easy to catch. You may have seen, let's say, to stay in a proper routine, to maintain your sleep cycle, which is a good habit because it ultimately affects your health, your peace of mind, your mental health, physical health, everything, right? Maintaining that requires a lot of discipline, and that is very difficult. But screwing up your sleep cycle is so easy. Sleep whenever you want, wake up whenever you want, do whatever you want, but your day is not going to be productive. So as the saying is, which is very true, that when good things are there, you need to work hard for it. It's not easy to achieve, and in order to keep yourself on track, you have to keep working hard. It's a all ongoing journey, bacha. It's never going to be like, okay, this much I have done and I'm sorted. No, you always have to strive for excellence. You always have to strive for the best, and that's how you're going to achieve the by choosing the difficult path. Okay, so on that note, let's begin with another session, amazing session of Sprint. This is the very first question, which is a 2-marker question. The question says, what do we understand about nationalism? Bacha, very simple. What is nationalism? Nationalism is not any policy, nothing. It's basically a feeling. Feeling of what? It's basically a feeling of being united, of being associated with your culture, with your nation, with your based on culture, language, etc. So this feeling which unites the people together is what nationalism is. This is what we mean by nationalism. So nationalism refers to the sense of unity, right? So basically, as I told you, the feeling of being united with whom? With other people of nation, with other citizens. You have to get associated and feel associated with them, related to them. So it is a feeling, it's a sense of unity felt by people who share a common history, language, and culture. So that is what nationalism is. Question number 2, 2 marker question. आपको लगेंगे 3 से 4 मिनट. You may need 3 minutes, 4 minutes to finish a 2 marker question in your exam, because you need to think about it, you need to frame your answers, all of that. But today, here in Sprint, we're not gonna take more than 2 minutes. So write the name of the countries who were single nations. What are single nations? So bacha, there were multiple nations like France, etc., which were single nations. Okay. Now, what are single nations? Basically, which is not divided in parts and is kind of united on the basis of their culture, language, and all of that. So, single nations were states like France, Holland, and Germany. Single nation states are those whose nation identities were based on common language and tradition. So, they had a common ground for their citizens. Moving on to the third question. What is imperialism? I'll give you a hint. It's very simple. The Britishers were imperials, okay? That is what was going on over here. They had, taken over and established imperialism. Can you think of it now? But yeah, imperialism is basically when one country takes over the other country and rules over it, basically captures its economic, political, and every kind of power. Okay, so imperialism refers to the state policy or practice by which the powerful nation establishes its control over another country by direct territorial acquisition or by gaining political and economic control. So basically having, colonialism you can say is also a form of imperialism. Now under colonialism, what used to happen? People either used to go and acquire the land, or at least if not that, they used to control the country in terms of the economy, and the political scenario of the country was completely under the control of these powerful nations. So they used to dominate the weaker nations and take over the day-to-day administration and function. So basically the administration and functions actually is completely controlled by the countries which are going to colonize. So the Britishers, people from England had done that. French people used to do that. So every one of these sorts, is what used to follow imperialism, which is basically taking over by power the weaker countries, okay, and to dominate their functions and administration, and to dominate them. Okay, so that is what is meant by imperialism. But we need independence, we need to grow by ourselves. And how can you grow by yourself? So here is your mantra, the Vedantu Pro subscription. I'm always so happy to talk about this subscription because I have now been associated with the subscription for a very long period of time. I have my own set of kids with whom I actually meet on a regular basis, weekly, twice, thrice, or whatever the number of classes is required. And we meet so regularly, we meet through live sessions, we communicate with each other, and this is something that you can also get. Now, but it's not necessary for you guys to necessarily go for a long-term plan that, hey, I have to sign up for 6 months, 1 year. No. All you need to do is at this moment, especially now that you're preparing for your board exams, you need a proper revision. You need proper quizzes to check your understanding, to check your concepts. Once you have a proper assessment, you need a backup plan to revise the whole syllabus. And all of that is available right over here, because all the sessions are going to be live and it's going to be unlimited. You can attend as many sessions as you want, where every session is going to give you high level of quizzes to assess your understanding of the topic. And not just alone you're seeing that, okay, have I done this right or not. You get to see the amount of exposure that you'll get, which is immense, and you get to see where you're standing in competition of so many other people. See, I'm not saying that you have to compete with other people, but it gives you an understanding that if this question is being answered by most of the people, probably it's an easy question, and if you're finding it difficult, you can figure out a way of understanding the concept. So that is one thing that is going to make your life really, really easy. And of course, just in case, what if you have missed the live session, what will happen then? it's going to be the same old premiered session, boring replays. Not at all. You can still play the quizzes just like live sessions, as I told you. All the notes are going to be available for you, which you can download with the notes of the master teachers. And you can get in-class doubt solving, quality tests and assignments, everything right there for you. And as I told you, if you actually come to a conclusion that, hey, this concept is not clear for me, or I want to revise the whole syllabus, what do I do? Bacha, crash courses have started for a quick revision. Okay, micro sessions are going on. So just in case you don't want to revise the entire syllabus, there's just few chapters that you've picked up that, okay, this subject, this chapter, this subject, this chapter, how do I do it? But you go ahead with the subscription. All of that is going to be absolutely free for you, making less a lot more. And you can simply go on this link, okay, vdnt.in/ytpro. Just type this link in your address bar, and you will directly be taken over where you can simply subscribe to the simply go ahead with the take the subscription. Otherwise, the link is also given in the description box. It is also pinned in the comment section, and the code that you're supposed to use, which is going to give you further 20% discount on the offer that is already going on, is AKEPRO. And if you actually do the calculation, it's just going to cost you 11 rupees. But the plan was actually of 4,000, which is now coming for 2,700 to 699. If you actually apply the code, you get further 20% discount, which will cost you only 2,159 rupees. And if you do the calculation for 200 classes, and I'm saying you can make it more than 200, but let's say 200 classes, you are going to pay only 11 rupees per session, which is super amazing and awesome. The link is given in the description box. As I told you, I will just take you to a tour and show you how it is. So bacha, see, if you directly actually go and type vdnt.in/ytpro, sorry, YT Pro. See, this is where you will be directed. You just have to select your grade and your batch, and see, these are the plans. Okay, all the other details you can find over here, and you'll be super sorted. Just proceed to pay. Okay, then apply the coupon code that I have given you, which is AKPRO. See, the moment you apply the code, this plan, which was for 4,000 rupees, which was coming for 2,700 rupees, will now come for only 2,159 rupees for you. And I think I have not shared the complete screen, so I'm sorry for that. But yeah, it's only gonna come for 2,159 rupees for you, which is super awesome. See, this is where I have applied the code. Okay, so this code is what has given me the further discount, and I use the code, sorry, I use the link vdnt.in/ytpro. Apart from that, what you can also do is, let's say if you wanna, okay, let me see, Vedantu 9th and 10th, Hanji, English, yes. So we'll pick any of my sessions. Let's pick this. And if I actually further go, see, this is the description box and this is the comment section. You can either directly go from here, this is the link, or you can go in the description box. Okay, and again, this is the link. I go here and I'm directed to the same place that I've shown you, by where you can reach through vdnt.in/ytpro. Now, bacha, one another thing that I wanted to show you is that this is how your live sessions will look like. Okay, so this is a list of your sessions. Okay, this is how it may look like, and you just have to go to past sessions. These were the upcoming sessions which is going to happen. You can go simply to the past sessions. Okay, this is probably how it will look like for you. Go ahead and open let's say one of the replays. I'll go ahead and replay this. Okay, and when you go ahead and replay this, see, this is how you can replay. You can also try alternative replay, play the live quizzes if you don't want to. And see, 13 quizzes has happened in this session, which is super amazing, right? And there were around 41 doubts asked, and 41 doubts have been clarified by the teachers, master teachers, class teachers, everyone. And this is just what has been accounted for. There are a lot of doubts which actually come across while the session is going on. So it's super amazing, people. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss on this. Okay, so make sure to use the code AKEPRO and link and all. Simple as go type vdnt.in/ytpro if you don't want to use the link given in the description box. Okay, now with this we move on to the next question. What was the triple alliance? But as the triple says, it's very clear that it was between three countries. Now, which three countries were they? It was, of course, Germany, Germany's old brother, Austria and Hungary, and it was further joined by Italy. And this trio actually tried to fight the war, which they terribly lost, is a different thing, but that is what is known as the Triple Alliance. So the Austria-Hungarian Empire was ruled by the Habsburg dynasty of Austria and included Hungarian Serb, Bosnian and Croat population who spoke different languages and cultural traditions. It was like a patchwork for them. Now Germany entered into an alliance with Austria and Hungary. So now two dual alliances there. And then they were joined in 1882 by Italy, and then this became the Triple Alliance. So this is what is known as the Triple Alliance. Moving on to the next question. State three terms of Treaty of Versailles. But what is this Treaty of Versailles? See, when World War I started in 1914, Germany was actually winning. Okay, Germany was doing pretty well. They were actually on the winning side, towards the win. But of course, they got overconfident. They took up some, area of France, captured it, attacked many countries. But they never knew that such turn of events will take place, and they will eventually get on the losing side and finally lose the First World War. Now, the provincial government that was there in the Germany, they had no other option but to surrender in front of the Allied powers. Okay, so the Allied powers who basically had won World War One, they now came to Germany and actually accused Germany that because of you World War One में इतने सारे damages have happened to us. So many damages, so much of damages has happened to us because of you. And they forced a kind of Germany, pushed Germany to sign this treaty, which is called the Treaty of Versailles. Now this treaty was very, very humiliating towards Germany. Okay, but they had no other option but to surrender in front of them. In fact, this province of France that Germany had captured, they had to give it back to them. But that was not the only condition. There were multiple things that they had to suffer through. They basically had to pay war reparations. Okay, they had to pay the money for all the damages that they had caused under the name of war. See, everyone had caused that damages, everyone was fighting war, but Germany was held responsible for all of it, and they were asked to pay huge sum of money, which led them in further, which pushed them to economical crisis. Apart from that, even in the Rhine Valley, they were asked to demilitarize this valley. Okay, now this would have made them very, very weak. Okay, basically they were supposed to remove their army and security from them. They were asked to return back this province of France that they had captured. There were multiple conditions at the Treaty of Versailles. You can write any of these. Okay, so the treaty declared Germany guilty of aggression. See, this is very important. Okay, this is what they were declared of. As I told you, they were basically accused that because of you this has happened. Okay, now Germany was required to pay for the loss and damages suffered by the Allies during the war. So this is point number one. You can actually segregate these points. Okay, the amount of reparations was fixed around $33 billion. Guys, you can imagine $33 billion. In today's date, even if you ask a strong big country to pay this amount, they will collapse. Okay, so that was the condition that was put on them. Germany had to give away her merchant ships as compensation to the Allies. So these were the conditions, right? Germany also was asked to pay for coal to France, Italy and Belgium for next 10 years. So they're not gaining any profit. They have lost whatever money they had in their reserves probably. For next year, whatever profit is going to come, they have to keep paying it back to the Allied powers which have won over them. And the area of the Rhine Valley was to be demilitarized, and German territory west of Rhine was to be occupied by the Allied troops for 15 years. So the area which was actually very, very profitable for them, even that area was snatched away from them. So they very, very badly had to suffer the repercussions of the World War I. Was pretty bad on Germany, and I think that is why a lot of scholars and a lot of other people believe that that is what had sown the seed of Second World War, which further gave aggravation to people like Hitler or Mussolini in Italy, Hitler in Germany, etc. Okay, moving on to the next question. Bacha, this is also a 3-marker question. 3 points are important. Let's see what the question says. Name the countries who were the allied powers and the central powers. What area was included between the Western Front? So we know there were two fronts, Eastern Front and Western Front, right? Allied powers, we know the powers, the strong powers, Britain, France and Russia. Okay, so this is what basically comprised of it. The central powers were Germany, Austria and their allies. So these two powers were fighting. Central powers lost, allied powers won. Okay, you could say America was also there, but in allied powers America was also there. So you can actually barf ki tarah remember this, BARF, right? BARF. Okay, or farb, just find out whatever works for you. And the area between Germany and northern France was known as the Western Front. So you can imagine, if this is the country, this would be the Eastern front, this would be the Western Front. Eastern Front was more towards Russia for Germany. Okay, Western Front was towards France. So this is how it was. See, I'm not drawing the map because I even don't know how Germany exactly looks like on map. Okay, moving on to the next question. Question number 7. What was the Sarajevo crisis? Bacha, we know that this was immediate cause of the war, right? This was the immediate cause of World War I. So let's understand what this was. We know that the prince was killed by the secret society, which should have not happened, which aggravated various wars between different entities and institutions and nations, which further led to blocs fighting against each other. So that is why I'm saying this was the immediate cause of First World War. So on June 28, 1914, Archduke Francis Ferdinand, the heir of the throne of Austria-Hungary, was assassinated at Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia, by the secret society called Black Hand and the Union of Death, formed by assertive Serbian nationalists whose aim was to unite all Serbians into single Serbian state. Now, as a result of this assassination, Austria served an ultimatum on Serbia on 23rd July, making 11 demands. And on July 28, 1914, Austria declared a war on Serbia, which was in Russia, which was a part of Russia, started preparation for war to support Serbia. Okay, so it was actually, they were allies, okay, Serbia and Russia. Now, when these guys declared war, Russia had to come to back them up because they were not so strong. So, on August 1, 1914, Germany declared war on Russia that, hey, we are going to fight against you. And August 3rd, on France, Germany declared war on France on August 4, 1914. And on the same day, Britain declared war on Germany. So, you can see how wars has started. So Germany is fighting Russia, Russia is fighting, supporting Serbia, fighting with Austria. Austria and Germany, we know, are allies. Italy is also allied. So Germany is now fighting with Russia. France has now declared war, so it's also fighting with France. Britain has come into the picture to support. So everyone has now started fighting among each other. So a small fight between two people has now turned into a fight between different groups. So now further bigger groups are going to be formed, which will lead to the different blocks, which is the Central Power Bloc and the Allied Powers. Okay, so same day Britain declared war on Germany. Thus the Sarajevo crisis triggered World War I in 1914. So this is why this is known as the immediate cause. Moving on to the next question. What was triple intent, or what events culminated to the First World War? Bacha, it was multiple things, right? After the death of Bismarck, France was able to establish friendly relations with Russia and England. The three countries entered into a triple entity in 1907 to counter the Triple Alliance. So they always knew that, see, to outnumber them or to not lose in front of them, they would have to have a strong front. So they also came into kind of an alliance, just like Italy, Austria-Hungary and Germany, to counter them wherever if they were attacked. Because Europe, we know there are a lot of things, a lot of tussle was going on silently, and they were participating this. They were anticipating this, not participating, they were anticipating this. Okay. Now later Japan joined this group. Thus Europe was divided into hostile camps. Okay. Now Britain had created a vast British Empire by acquiring colonies in Asia and Africa. It grew rich from its success in trade, in foreign resources, markets, territories, and people. We have seen that in India. Germany, Netherlands, Italy, and USA too wanted to acquire colonies in Asia and Africa, but Britain at that time had started. So Britain, Bacha, at this time, was actually a superpower. Okay, it's still a very strong country, but now Russia and America is considered to be the superpowers of country of the world. However, Britain at that time was ruling over and beyond all the nations. Okay, this led now because everyone wanted now to expand, okay, and have colonies overseas, just like Britain. Now, if that has to happen, area ultimately is limited. Okay, anyways, even if it's not limited, there's already a superpower which is trying to acquire every land. So definitely there's going to be a tough competition. So it led to the rivalries and wars for the colonies. Now, why did they want colonies? Because they had seen that it makes them rich. So colonies, bacha, actually used to bring in a lot of money, okay, resources, and ultimately used to boost the economy of the country which was colonizing used to boost up. Okay, so that is why every country to attain that power, that boost, wanted to be colonizing everywhere. Okay, so these rivalries created suspicion, tension, and wars, which finally resulted in the First World War. So friends or probably peaceful neighbors now became enemy because of the suspicion, this competition, and ended up fighting with each other. With that, we have finished the contemporary world, the First World War. Next session, we're going to finish the Second World War and United Nations. Okay, now let's quickly look at the homework question. Germany lost Alsace-Lorraine to which country? I have given you this answer already. Belgium, France, Denmark, or Russia. Do not forget to put your answer in the comment section. Bacho, this is your schedule. So, bacha, yesterday we had a session at 9 p.m. on mass phase of the national movement. Today we have finished contemporary world. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. we're going to get the second session of contemporary world, with which this session, this chapter will actually be finished. I have told you the advantages of the Vedantu Pro subscription. I have shown you the way to get it. Do not miss on this opportunity, guys. It's going to be wonderful. I am promising this to you. On that note, I'm going to close today's session. Thank you so much for being here. It was a super fun session. Thank you so much for all those comments that you guys keep coming in. I mean, just keep coming those comments in. It's super fun to read that. It's very inspirational, very motivating. And thank you so much, everyone, for all of it, all of that love. Guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss on the notifications of any of the sessions. And you do not miss any of the sessions for that matter. Like karna mat bhulna. Do not forget to hit the like button and keep sharing the video with your friends. I will see you guys very, very soon. Till then, stay home, stay safe, and take good care of yourselves. Bye, guys. Have a great time. Take care. Good night.